Hello, welcome to tax school. Boy, do I look old. Anyway, welcome to Tax Tutoring School 101, all the basic stuff. Now, I missed you yesterday, phone ringing off the hook. So, what I'm going to do, we're going to start with Dana Cloud. We're going to jump right into it today. Right into scenarios. Dana Cloud has two children, ages 4, ages 7. Her wages are $57,000. How much CTC credit would she receive at the end of the year? Or she opt out of payments? We're going to assume she opt out of the payments and she's going to collect the child tax credit at the end of the year. So we know for a fact if they are over the age of 5 and they are at the age of 6, by the end of the year, they're not going to get the $250. They'll get $300 per payment. If they're under the age of 5 by the end of the year, they're going to receive the $250. I think I did that backwards. Yeah. Nope, it's $250. And we're going to assume that Dana, didn't claim any of this. So at the end of the year, she's going to be able to claim it all in one lump sum. So Connie, her 4-year-old, how much is she going to receive? Shevin is age 7. How much is he going to receive? So let me get comfortable here. I'm in a tight little corner. Sorry. Shevin is $3,000. Straight up. That's how much if they opt out of the payments. At the end of the year, instead of it being $2,000, it'll be $3,000. Connie, $3,600. And why is that? Because Connie's under 5, Shevin's over 6. So we went there. I'm going to push this aside because I have 3 more for you today. I'm going to start pushing the scenarios a little bit harder. And also keep in mind, I post these online on my Facebook page. I post them for you to read. These are all made up names, nobody I know. So Jade Smith, he worked as a cashier. She made $38,000. Could she itemize to get more than that $38,000? Rick Porter is retired and claims Social Security. He's 60. Rick Porter made, let's just say 17. Made 17,000. Could he itemize? Layla Duty is a Lyft driver. What with besides a 1040? Now the Layla Duty, the Lyft driver, I'm going to be getting more into their schedules and what you need to learn. Now you may not do this. You may choose not to do it, but if one comes across your desk and you're interested in doing it, do it and then have a mentor validate it before you accept it. Lyft drivers, Uber, Instacart, these are all different than your average 1040. Why? Why are they different? I'm going to post that question tonight. Why are they different? So remember, we have Jade Smith, Rick Porter, and Layla Duty. Dana Cloud is done, so we're going to move on to these 3. Also, I want to talk to you about publication books. And I have the publication right here, 17. There is, yeah, I printed it at home. Because come to find out, there are so many things in here that you may have to look at eventually as you go. There's some you're not even going to touch yet. Part one, the income tax return. It'll help you take a look at your forms, self-employment, surviving spouses, other situations when you must file a 2020 return. Say, for example, there's 6 steps to preparing your paper return. If you got to file a paper return, there's get your records together, get the forms together, fill in your returns, check your returns, sign in and date your return, attach all required forms and schedules. Sometimes you might have a schedule, let's say a 1 or a 2 or a 3, or you might have a schedule C or a schedule D. Anything that's in the mix of the 1040 that you did, your answers are going to be right here to help you. Now, everyone says the check finder. I have the All States Quick Finder Handbook, and that's good, but it doesn't answer all the questions. Now, I know it's a lot of paper. I know, and you could probably buy the publication 17 somewhere. But if you have a good printer and you have the ink, don't be afraid to print it. I printed, I think it was, let's see, let me look. I think it was 136 pages. My printer prints back to back, so it makes it a little bit easier. But in the back of the book, even, you may have to update some of it for 2021. But it tells about limits on the CTC and ODC, additional child tax credits, credits for other dependents, credits for, then it has a tax table that you can use. Now, see, when I was in school, they told us we really didn't need to print all this, and you really don't. When you're in ITC class, you can always download this to your computer and keep a version of it, so that way if you need to refer back to it, I just find it easier for me that I can just glance into that thing and I can't get it back up there anymore. Oh well, I'll do that later. But publication, what is it? 17, what is it for? It's for everything and then some. I read it mostly for when I can't find what I'm looking for, when I don't want to be on the computer, which is a lot because I'm on the computer a lot. So I'm going to move to another publication, which you won't have for a while. But it's something to keep a hold of. It's not very big. Can answer a few questions, maybe help somebody else out. Publication. Let me pull this one out. Publication 334. 334 is small business. Now, I use this to help people at times because I'll have somebody call me when I'm in the tax office or if I'm at home. They'll call me and say, well, what does this mean? What do I do? And I'm going to be hypothetical here. I'm going to say, let's go to page, if you ever get this, I'm not even going to put pages out there. It'll give you a list of items to check. Income statements, year end December. I know last year I got a person who he had just started a business, a dog grooming business with a friend of his. So I did the accounting work on it. And this actually helped me do his accounting. Now, I didn't do the actual taxes because last year I wasn't into small businesses. But small businesses are not the easiest thing in the world to do, and you need to be certified to do it. And you will be certified eventually. But you can assist. You can help. You can say, okay, well, I have accounting skills because I have an accounting degree. So I did all the math for the tax preparer as an advisor, and I put it together and I simplified it. Well, like bank statements. No bank statement is from the 1st to the 31st. No deposits are from the 1st to the 31st. So what I did was I broke it down. It's just like your water bill. Your water bill is 30 days in advance, but it's from like the 15th to the 15th. Most bank statements are that way as well. So if you be careful how you interact with them, and if you need help, publication 35, you can just pull it up and pull up what you need. There's also a safe harbor for tangible property in here. There's also net profit or loss. These are all some things. And there's also farm and non-farm earnings, like gross income, earnings, actual. It's things that will help you in your future. And the thing I like about it, you can put it on your computer. You don't have to print the way I did. I printed because sometimes I like to read and not be on the computer all the time. So it has an index in the back. So it starts from A and goes to W. So say, for example, we'll just pick one. C, cancel debt, page 22. You just fly to 22. I mean, it makes it so much nicer than having to sit there and scroll and scroll. And these are very positive things to have. Go right to page 22. Interest and dividend, and then right here on top, cancel debt. The following explains the general rule for including canceled debt in income and the exceptions to the general rule. It tells you the general rule, the exceptions, price reduced, deductible debt, gives you examples, exclusions, and it just goes on and on. For the debt, for the qualified real property business debt, it just goes on and on and on. And there's a lot of listings in here that can help you once you get to the publication 334. So now my next one I want to show you for small businesses, and we were talking about this a few minutes ago with Layla Duty, who is a Lyft driver. In here is Schedule C. But keep in mind, if Miss Layla Duty is a Lyft driver, she has expenses. Where does those expenses go? Where does her expenses belong? So I'm going to post that too. Where do her expenses belong? What form? Do they belong on a Schedule D, or do they belong somewhere else? So remember, Jade Smith worked as a cashier. She made $38,000. Could she itemize? Rick Porter is retired and claims Social Security. He is 60 years old. He made $17,000 in Social Security. Could he itemize? Stop there with the retired parts. Stop with the retired part. Think about it for a minute. He's retired. He only claimed $17,000. Could he itemize? Is that a trick question? Ask yourself, isn't there a limit to what he needs before he can claim? Now, I'm not sure the laws for 2021 yet, because we're still working in 2020, and we know 2021 may kind of vary a little bit, because every year it does change. But is that a trick question? Think about that, because he only made $17,000. Let's go to, I wanted to go back to, we did that. We finished Dana's. We talked about the publications. I want to talk a minute, which I didn't write down, but I want to talk a minute about the All States Quick Finder Handbook. Now, see, I didn't have one, but they have them in the offices, and then I ended up buying me one because I got it at one of the colleges that I just checked, and I got it for a discount. But it is a beautiful book. And the Allstate, it goes to like Virginia and Mexico and Colorado, and now some of it may vary because my book's a 2020, so I'm sure the 2021 is what you're going to go after, and that would make sense. But remember, you can always refer back to the 2020, but remember the same logistics that you use for 2020 may not validate in 2021. For example, child tax credit, we know was changed, but the same laws still apply. So you can read the same laws, just remember the money has changed. The money is not $2,000 anymore. It was $2,000 per child at the end of the year. Now they have it where some of that money can come to the parents throughout the months of the year. So if Dana collected $3,000 on Chevin at the end of the year, but then she decided, okay, well, I want to collect it, say from August, September, October, November, December, 5 months. 5 months of the 250. So 5 times 250. Let's see if I'm smart here today, or if I got to pull out my phone. I'm going to pull out my phone because I don't want to be wrong. I don't know why I look like I'm 100 years old in this camera thing, but I'll get over it. So 5, oh, I was doing math earlier. Bear with me. 5 times 250 is 1,250. So that's 1,250 she's already gotten for the 5 months. So, and then you're going to put minus again the 3,600. So that leaves 2,350 that Dana would have gotten back at the end of the year if she didn't opt out. So make sure you're doing that math when it comes to child tax credit this year. And I'm sure there's probably going to be in your software a question on there of how much child tax credit have they claimed. Now, if they say, Dana says I got $3,600, none of it, and she did collect some, the IRS will deduct it from her amount. So it's just beneficial to say that. It's going to come out. I want to start pushing scenarios, but I'm also going to move on because I've had people, yes, Terry, I'm moving on. I have a couple more minutes. Next week, or actually tomorrow, I'm going to try to get back in here again. We're going to go over the scenarios one more time. But I want to bring up a couple of things. Some things that are going to be on your test. Not a lot of it, but enough to make you annoyed. Because when I took my test, these were some of the things that I missed. So sad for me. But I'm going to put them out there. So let's say that one, and all I'm going to do is explain the meanings of what these actually mean to you. We're going to explain the meaning. So Terry wants me to explain what, say it. No. Okay. So I'm going to explain these a little bit more in detail than what I did today. This is what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. And I will post what I talked about today on my Facebook page. I have a Facebook page. It's called School Tutoring Itc. These classes are free to you. Don't hesitate to use them. Free. And think I might even change my picture a little bit and put the word free in there. Even though I have all these followers, we need people talking here. So I'm going to talk about passive income. I don't know if you guys can see that. I need to find a way to work with YouTube a little better. Passive income, kitty tax, Schedule C, Schedule D, and Schedule F. What these means and if you really need them. We're going to write Schedule F. Another thing you want to think about and study on is depreciation. That is something else we're going to get into, because even though a lot of depreciation won't be on your tests, there will be depreciation that you're going to need as you're doing taxes as a preparer. And I will explain why. I'll explain why that you need that, because I wasn't prepared a lot for the depreciation point, and I learned as I went throughout the year. So it's something to think about. But back again, I want to do the passive income, kitty tax. Yes, Terry, kitty tax. Schedule C, Schedule D, and Schedule F. And my comments, the reason why you don't see any is because they are private. I set it up that way in case someone feels uncomfortable talking. I know I'm over the 20 minutes again. YouTube's just going to love me. But I had a lady, I'm not going to mention her name, said she didn't want to feel stupid. Well, you know what? I felt stupid the entire first year. I'm like, what am I doing? But you know what? Get over it. But for comfortable reasons, I can go private so I can see your messages and reply only to you. Gotta love YouTube. So we're going to go from there. I'll be back tomorrow at 11 to talk about what we needed to talk about today. That's the end of my, whatever you call this, tax training. Sorry about Tuesday. Tuesday got out of control. When you have one of these, you need to learn how to turn it off, because I mean, it went crazy. So anyway, I will talk to you later. You guys have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock.